Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CineMasochism here on the Movie Crusaders channel. I am your host, Brian Michaels, as always, and with me, Sean Wasserkrug. Sean, how are you feeling about today's movie?
It's almost
that's all right there. That's I.
It's almost a good thing that we decided to shoot it today because there's been a lot of franchise news about this franchise that's come out today.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. It's one of the things.
What was your, like? Take me through your journey of the franchise, the highs and lows when you decided you were off the train. That kind of.
For anyone who hasn't decided, we're talking about Fast now. We're talking about F9.
They clicked the thumbnail.
I get that, but still, come on, host. We're talking about F9 from the Fast and Furious franchise. So yeah, going down the long road of Fast and the Furious. Fast and Furious 1, when it came out, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I mean, at the time, I didn't really know Vin Diesel, but I did know Paul Walker. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. Too Fast, Too Furious. I was excited to see a sequel, but then when I knew Vin wasn't in it, I was like, okay, it's fine. It's not great. Obviously, you know, they doubled down on the cheesy, you know, sexy car version parts of it, but the story itself was lacking, not that great. Tokyo Drift's garbage. Anyone who tries to say that Tokyo Drift is a great film, I think is just lying to themselves. I know Brian's one of those people who doesn't hate it, but I'm sorry.
I don't love it either. So
no, you don't. That's why I said you don't hate it.
Until this, it was my bottom one on the list.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift's garbage. People are acting like it's a great film. No, it's not. The acting is atrocious in that film, and no, Tokyo Drift's horrible. It killed the franchise for a fucking reason. Let's all be real on that. Tokyo Drift killed the franchise till Vin Diesel decided he wanted to come back. Fast and Furious, right? That's the fourth one. The first one's The Fast, and this one's
this is just Fast and Furious.
I actually liked that one. I thought it was kind of getting back on track, but also not, because it was starting to go towards where it was, but it still was more of a grounded film. I actually really enjoy that one for what it is. A lot of people like to pretend like that one didn't happen kind of thing, but like I actually really enjoyed that one for what it was. F5 is super fun and a blast, but obviously it's, you know, you start to see that didn't just be about speed race or about, you know, racing and like, you know, stuff like that. Now it's become like Mission Impossible, but it had The Rock, it had Vin Diesel, it had the big, you know, bank safe scene, which I thought was really, really cool at the time. Furious 6, or was it Fast 6, or what the fuck? I don't know. The titles all mess with me now.
And in different countries got different titles.
So yeah. Fast and the Furious 6.
Yeah.
It was fine. I liked Luke Evans as a villain. I thought it was solid, but there was other things. Gina Carano was, let's put it this way, nice to look at. She's not a good actress.
Yeah, she was great at the action, but she couldn't handle acting, which we later saw more in Mandalorian.
She can't read dialogue to save her life, but she looks good, and she looks good kicking butt. But the airplane scene's fucking ridiculous. There's no airway. There's no strip that's that fucking long. It's utterly ridiculous. F7 I thought was really good. You got Statham, you got the stakes, plus it was also Paul Walker's last film, which should have ended the fucking franchise. Beautiful ending. Literally could not have a better ending than that. Sends everyone off on their separate ways. Should have ended with 7. Then they went with 8, which nothing against Charlize Theron, but this is when Vin Diesel decided, I want an Oscar for my dramatic performances with this. Dude, you're not good enough to be a dramatic actor. You're not good enough to be nominated for anything else other than I Am Groot in this shit. And it started to get to the point where the Fast and Furious fatigue was kicking in. I didn't hate it, but it was one of those, I'm watching this, I'm like, I am really, really losing interest in these characters and the unbelievableness of what's going on. And we'll talk about that with this film. And then F9, literally from the first trailer, I was like, oh my God, this is going to suck. Like, this is really going to suck. and it did not disappoint me in sucking. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do, and Fast X feel the same goddamn way. So, and Hobbs and Shaw, since it's part of the franchise, I liked Hobbs and Shaw. It's not great.
I would disagree with that, but
you watch the trailer, and the trailer tells you the whole fucking movie from beginning to end. But I enjoy Rock and Statham together. I think they have fun chemistry. I kind of would like to see them in movies that aren't Fast related and just have them play different characters in a different, everything different. Just put them in a fun, like almost like a Tango and Cash-esque kind of movie. I know you don't like Tango and Cash, but something like that, but with them. I thought Idris Elba chewed the scenery as the villain. I enjoyed him in the movie. But, I mean, it is what it was. But, yeah, fuck me. I am not excited for next week.
That was a lot more detailed than I expected, but that's fine.
What about your experience?
No, because for me, it's like I have honestly enjoyed all of the Fast and the Furious movies to different extents, all the way up through like Fate of the Furious. I was a defender of it. A lot of people were saying, it was over, it should have ended, and I agree. 7 would have made a perfect ending, but they made 8, and I enjoyed 8 quite a bit, so I had no problem with that. I agree. 3 was the worst up until 9. But I think a lot of people, the people that really love that one and say it's a great movie, those are the ones who want a street racing movie, because that's the one movie that's really about street racing. Even the first one, it's about this crime ring that happened to be. That's like saying Point Break is about surfing. Point Break isn't about surfing. Point Break is about the relationship, him infiltrating this group of surfers who are robbing banks and things like that. Which Fast and the Furious, the first one, was just basically a Point Break remake.
I want to see if you agree with me on this. Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift is like when Step Up tried to keep continuing Step Up without Channing Tatum. It's like you're just trying to get the teenagers back in the films to watch these movies, but with none of the main cast that brought you to the film.
Yes, except Step Up. Okay, you've hit it. You hit it.
Take the dancing movie. Take your love for dancing films out of the equation.
The Step Up movies got better after that, though. Step Up 3 and 4 and even 5. It was just when they stopped trying to, because like the first one, the Channing Tatum had a plot. It had a story. It was the cutting edge with dancing, basically. But then Step Up at 3, 4, 5 just decided to just be fun, and they were tons of fun. So I think those are better one, but that's a whole tangent we won't get on. But Fast Tokyo Drift, I think, was people that wanted pure racing. That's why they love that one. But that's not what this series has ever really been about. It's kind of the backdrop of it is all it is.
No, it's supposed to have been more of a modern, at the time, a modern day new version of Point Break to a point. Because you have these extreme guys, which even then, even in Fast and Furious, they're extreme because they street race. They're not like jumping out of fucking airplanes and surfing like in Point Break.
Yeah.
But, but it was supposed to be like a modern day at the time version of Point Break, basically.
Yeah. So we are talking about F9, aka Fast 9, aka F9 The Fast Saga, aka Fast and the Furious 9, depending on what country you saw it in, or even different times, it had different titles.
My take, F9, fuck the 9th one.
Fast and Furious. There's 9 of these already? Goddamn. This came out on June 25th, 2021, after being originally scheduled for 2019, but then they decided to come out with Hobbs and Shaw and push back Fast and the Furious 9. Then it was April 2020. Then the pandemic, they pushed it back like 6 weeks. Then they pushed it back a year. And then finally it came out on June 25th, 2021. Although that's the US. It came out almost a month earlier in overseas, which I don't like when that happens. US first. There are movies, damn it. Had a budget of $200 million.
Most of that's probably the cars.
Yeah, that's more than like the first couple of these made combined. It made only $173 million in the US. Only. That's a good chunk of money, but for this franchise, that's kind of a big dip.
For what it's known to make since Fast 5, that's a considerable letdown.
Yeah, and $726 million worldwide. On IMDb, average score of 5.2 out of 10. Letterboxd, average of 2.5 out of 5 stars. Rotten Tomatoes, a 59% critic score, surprisingly high, and 82% audience score. But
I should have made you put that up against all the other ones and see where it ranks.
But I think this is one of those franchises, though, that a lot of like more casual moviegoers really go see, and it's like they really love it. They just want to see things blow up, and they want to see funny lines, and they want to see action scenes, and that's fine. I don't fault people that just like to go and have fun, watch movies, but it's like then you see the scores add up on this. You're like, really? But it's not that good. But
it's not.
Whatever. We don't believe in these numbers anyway. These are just
of a movie
for information. Directed by Justin Lin, who directed 3 through 6 and then 9. He skipped 7 and 8. And also, I thought was quite notable. This is the only one of the Fast and Furious movies since starting with 3 that was not written by Chris Morgan. They had a whole different set writers than the guy who did 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I think that might have had a big thing to do with it because this one went ape shit. So, yeah, F9. Yes, the movie starts out with a flashback. We get to see.
Hold on. Before we start.
Yeah.
Because you and I are both in the same mindset. When you saw that first initial trailer for F9.
The trailer, yes.
You were in the same boat I was, which was
the first time we saw the trailer, it was like there was the main thing was just that this series has always kind of pushed believability. It's like it's gotten crazier and crazier and crazier, but it's like, okay, I can let it slide. But I could tell from the first time I saw the first trailer for this movie, I'm like, they finally crossed that line. I can't even like just suspend my disbelief. I can't even just sit back and have fun with it because I'm like, this is just so ridiculous. And the space stuff, which we'll get into later, wasn't even in the trailer.
No,
this is just the whole thing with him like driving, and he manages to drive just right, so he knows that this thing will catch in his wheel enough to hold the car. It swings across the ravine, crashes, flips 20 times, and they're both fine.
And then you have the John Cena, who at the time good in comedy stuff.
John Cena, we loved in comedy. He shows up in Trainwreck when he shows up in was it Blockers was before this.
Yeah,
these movies, he's a ton of fun.
But this was the first time like he had done action like with the Marine.
Yeah,
but that was a WWE film like that. They
expected that to be bad. Yeah.
But this was his first like legit movie of like blockbuster film action star like The Rock, and it was like, okay, cool. John Cena's kind of getting out of WWE to a point. He's becoming a movie star, which that's fine. But when you see the trailer, you're like, that's Dom's brother. And you're like, you're telling me that we have now made it through 8 films and this motherfucker has never popped up or mentioned? No. And this is a problem that I have with the franchise as a whole going into Fast X. But yeah, like
it's like okay, there's this villain. And go, oh wait, no, there's this villain's brother. Oh hey, now there's these villains' mom is in this one as well.
Well, since we're already jumping into it, that yes, this is a problem that I'm having with the franchise. You want to create new villains, fine, create new villains, but then you have to boomerang them back to the previous films, so that way you're trying to make it so that way they have to go back and watch these, but you don't. Now, the Shaw brothers, that was fine. Brother, okay, that's fine. But now in Fast 9, you're bringing in, this with it's his brother, and then you're having to add this whole subplot backstory that really is not needed in this character storyline. And now with Fast X with Jason Momoa, you're like, oh, he's the son of the bad guy from Fast 5, and then he was also technically in that final sequence in Fast 5. You remember that car that got bumped off the bridge and into the water? That was actually Jason Momoa. Shut the fuck up. No, it wasn't. And to you to bring it back around like that and then act like, oh, he's been planning this whole time. Like, no, fuck you. Like, seriously, franchise, fuck you. Don't.
Yeah, you can just make a new villain. It doesn't have to have this connection.
Yes. Like, they've done enough shit. This group have done enough shit to people over the last 4 films that you can just have a random guy be like, I'm gonna fucking, these guys have been messing with shit. I'm gonna take them out. Or
they've made international enemies all over the world, and they keep moving back to the same house. They're not hard to find. You can come find them and kill them.
Exactly. They're all fucking having a cookout in Dom's backyard every fucking 5 minutes. Just fucking, they tried blowing it up at one point, but that didn't work. But still, fucking bomb their cars. That's the one thing you can do that you know you can kill them. Put fucking like self-destruct devices on their vehicles. They're not going to stay away from their fucking vehicles. But it's like, stop trying to make every villain a past connection to past films. Just have Momoa just be this guy that's out there, and they just have to go stop him. Or he's like, hey, I was working with Cypher, and you fucked up money for me because of this, so I want to take you guys out. Boom, you have to go, you killed my father like 8 years ago, and now it's payback. Anyway, talking about F9.
Yeah, F9. And we're not going to go through like every scene in the movie, but we are going to kind of go through a few of the major set pieces. 5
hours.
Yeah, because this movie it's like 2 hours and 20 something minutes. I think if there's a director's cut that's actually a full 2.5 hours, but I didn't watch that one.
They're all 2.5 hours now anyway, so they all are.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw somebody recently complain like, oh, the new Transformers movie is only 1 hour and 57 minutes. How are they going to tell a whole story in just that much time? Like, that's how long movies used to be.
Bumblebee was under 2 hours, and it told a great story.
And now everything has to be epic. Anyway, so the movie we start off with seeing a scene of Dom's dad, essentially how he died, which then throughout the movie you'll see this leads up to the whole scene for which he went to jail for supposedly beating the guy to almost to death with a torque wrench. Although I would like to point
in this flashback he hits him once.
Yeah,
once he made it. Once again, a guy embellishing how hardcore he is made it seem like he bashed this guy's fucking head in with this pipe or this wrench like 5 times. No, he got one shot in and then was immediately pulled off. If anything, it was assault. It wasn't attempt to kill at any point. So at this point, Dom's already full of shit to a point based off of his past shit.
And someone on IMDb also did point out that he's always said he was killed. He did it with a torque wrench. It actually clearly is a pipe wrench in this movie. So yeah. They can't even get their own stuff straight.
They don't care. They don't care.
Now the casting of young Dom, I thought they found a guy who was really close enough to him that I could believe that it was young Dom.
I honestly thought it was a de-aged Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I don't think there was that much resemblance at all.
He kind of looks like one of the Koopas from Super Mario Brothers. It looks like a de-aged Diesel.
I am a bit amused though at the fact that he seems like he's taller than Vin Diesel, so he apparently shrunk over time a little bit.
He got wider in terms of his muscle mass, so it affected his height.
Oh, I see. That's how it works.
I mean, logistically with Fast 9, it makes sense.
But I mean, okay, let's just talk about the flashbacks in general. I think that those were done fine. I mean, you kind of told us.
Hold on, you mentioned this when we were watching it. His voice was a higher. Hold on, it was higher prior to his dad's death, and then his dad's death happened, and then he was Vin Diesel voice.
That when he came around,
his father's death made his balls drop. Tell me I'm lying.
You gotta go up fast, man. You gotta go up fast.
That doesn't even sound like Vin Diesel's voice. But then, like the next scene with young Dom, it was like, "You need to get out of here." It's like, when did his voice change?
But I mean, these scenes I thought were fine. I think it kind of set up the relationship between him and his brother Jacob real well. So I didn't really have a problem with any of these scenes aside from like you said.
Except for even though I like the actors, because I mean the young Jacob's played by Finn Cole, which most people know if you guys ever watched Animal Kingdom on TNT. He's actually a really good young actor. I mean, he's not young anymore. He's an adult. But oh god, the guy's name who killed his father. I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he's from like 911 Lone Star. But like that scene, the scene that leads to the assault with the wrench, that guy comes in looking to start a fight. Like
their dad has just died. He supposedly comes to want to pay his respects, but he's like basically like just like
antagonizing Cole and Dom. Like no one comes in to pay respects for this dead father, and then basically starts like talking shit to his 2 kids. Like the writing for that scene is just like, because we're wondering like, who the fuck would do that? Like,
well, I think the problem was they paint themselves in the corner because, like in the first movie, obviously you find out that he, went to jail for this, almost beating the guy to death supposedly. with the torque wrench. But like now he's like our protagonist. He's our hero. It's like, oh, we can't have him be a bad guy. We have to have, there has to be a better reason, that something that drove him to it. So it wasn't really his fault. So he's kind of painting themselves in the corner in that respect.
No, it was just the guy was being a grade A dick, and then I think wasn't he about to fight? Wasn't like Cole about to punch him or something, and then Dom stepped in and then just hit him.
Yeah, Dom stepped in. Basically, I think that's kind of the theme of the thing is Dom stepped in to essentially protect his brother, and so his brother wouldn't get in trouble. But then at the same time, Jacob has this whole thing that apparently leads to his motivations in the end, living in Dom's shadow, which becomes apparently enough motivation to he becomes
which you would think
an outlaw.
You would think, because that's such a big character point, that we would have seen scenes showing that Cole was in Dom's shadow. But we don't.
Yeah, we don't see that.
We don't see that at all.
They basically just talk about it, and then there's some conflict because he thinks that he basically thinks that he lost the race because of Jacob, when actually Jacob was just doing what his father wanted him to do, because he was throwing the race because of debts and things like that. There was the one scene, there was the racing scene basically when he finally tells Jacob, if you lose, you got to like basically leave town, where they don't expressly say it, and I honestly don't even know if I don't remember noticing the first time I saw the movie, but maybe I didn't, just forgot. But Sean pointed out that there's characters who are pretty sure are supposed to be like young Letty, young Mia, young Vince, maybe.
Yeah, young Vince, because he's got the tank top and everything. Like I was like, that's got to be young Vince, that's got to be young Mia, and that's got to be young Letty. And you're like, I don't know. Like the girl who's playing young Letty, she's even trying to do the Michelle Rodriguez voice kind of thing. So yeah, it was if you're not paying attention or you're not thinking about it. Yes, they are basically playing the young version, which they are in the cast. It actually says young Mia, young Letty.
Oh, it does. Okay, I didn't know that part a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, those are the kind of flashbacks that happen throughout the movie. But after that first flashback, we see Dom and Letty living on essentially his farm, because they decided they want to just live a peaceful life, peace and quiet, out on their own. This car pulls up, and he immediately goes and grabs his shotguns. They send little Brian down into like this basically a panic room hole they have, I guess, in there.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like something you would hide your money in.
Yeah, but like somebody pulls up and they immediately pull all their guns. Like anybody who comes there has to be looking for trouble. And of course, it turns out it's Roman, Tej, and oh my gosh, I forgot her name.
Oh my god,
Ramsey. Yeah, can't forget Ramsey.
How dare you, sir?
Well, I just wanted to say Natalie. I can't say Ramsey. But it's like our first thought was call ahead.
Yeah, why didn't you call it? No, didn't they say they tried to?
I don't know.
I think they said they tried to, but
even then, it's like the first thing is aim guns. People are like clearly, it's like not everybody coming there is looking for trouble.
Yeah, but apparently the life they live. No, Brian and Mia. Like, what if that was Brian and Mia? I mean,
they're living back in their old house, I guess.
Yeah, but apparently Brian and Mia can't visit without guns being drawn on them. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, because do they have phones? I don't know. Because
I want to say they said they tried calling, and then someone said our phone's not working or something. Which is like, okay, well, even more so, you probably shouldn't be pulling guns on people. Like, do you guys not get mail? Like, how does that work with the post office? But basically, they show up. They show up because Mr. Nobody's been taken.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah.
The whole inciting factor of this entire movie is that Mr. Nobody has been taken, and he sent some cryptic message, and basically looking for help. He only sent it to them, to this group of people. Ramsey got a hold of it, basically.
Not military, fucking commando people, but to ex-convict street racer guys that apparently can do anything.
But who are now like, expert military and tactical.
They're basically Ethan fucking Hunt from Mission Impossible.
Yeah. And the thing about this whole inciting thing is Mr. Nobody, they're going to rescue Mr. Nobody. Guess what? At the end of this movie, not only has Mr. Nobody not been rescued, I'm not even sure he was ever mentioned again.
He's never mentioned past the scene where they actually get to the site. He is never... No, he's brought up in a flashback about Han's fake death, which is another fucking ridiculous thing. He is literally a plot pin to progress the story to this point. Then once they get to that point, The story becomes all about Dom's brother and everything, and they just completely forget about Mr. Nobody. So by the end of F9, we don't know if Mr. Nobody's still alive. We don't know where he is. And it doesn't seem like anyone gives a flying fuck, because at the end of the day, they're all having their barbecue at the end of the movie, and Mr. Nobody's still.
That's just it. If they did not rescue him at the end of this, and this was a thread they're leaving on because they still have to rescue him in the next movie, whatever, because we knew there was more coming. That I would understand that, but they're not. They're not even talking about it. They're all sitting around having their barbecue. No mention of it. It's like, he's still out there.
I mean, we know that Dom figures out that God damn it. Not what's Dom's brother's name?
Jacob.
I can want to say Cole because Finn Cole's the young version of him. You know that Jacob was there, but then doesn't Jacob say that he worked for Mr. Nobody at one point? But like, there's Han worked for Mr. Nobody, but we'll get into that. Everyone apparently worked for Mr. Nobody, but like, basically, Dom sees in the video because he's got a cross on, and only the fucking Toretto family has these crosses, that Jacob did something or took Mr. Nobody. But by the end of the day, we still don't know who took Mr. Nobody, because if he took Mr. Nobody, wouldn't he have been in a fucking clear cell next to Cypher too? At the end of the day, we don't know. So at the end of this movie, the whole driving force to get them into the fucking film is completely abandoned in this movie, never to be brought up again. That's Kurt motherfucking Russell, people. You don't ignore and blow off Kurt Russell. How dare you? How dare you? But anyway,
apparently you do. But then who do they bring back? Kurt Russell, the only place you ever see him in this movie then is in that little fragmented message, they see here. But they do bring back Cypher, Charlize Theron, who really has no reason to be in this movie, honestly. It's like she had been captured in the last movie. She had no reason to be in this one, except, she apparently is working with Jacob, and she has to fly the jet, the little magnetic jet that saves the car and all that stuff. That's a whole other thing.
Which even then, she's not even in the fucking jet. She's in the cube.
That's right. She's just running it. And it's like, and that's the thing is they have her in this weird little prison cell, I guess, but it's like a plastic box in the middle of like a warehouse where you it's completely transparent. So it's like, we're wondering, how does she go to the bathroom? At different times in the movie, she's wearing different clothes, but I'm not sure where she's changing into those.
Well, that's the other thing too. She got captured at the end of Fate of the Furious, and she had dreadlocks, but now she's captured and she's got a bowl cut. So they cut her hair when she was captured, apparently.
Well, maybe she cut it when she was on the run. She stopped for a haircut somewhere.
I don't know. Even
some like 80s supermodel thing going on.
Even the scene for the trailer for the next movie, you're just like, why the fuck are you in this? Like, I don't even know. It almost looks like, based on the scene, it almost looks like they're trying to like transfer like the mind into Letty. Like, it looks like, because they're both like.
That's totally what that scene looks like. I'm hoping that's not what it is.
Oh
that's
God,
totally
I hope
what that looks
not,
like in the trailers.
At this point, I don't fucking know what we're going into.
I mean, maybe it's just like a blood transfusion. I don't know what is going on there, but it's just. Fast X is a whole different story.
Yes, but she's brought in, and she's. Once again, like because apparently Charlize Theron has signed at least a 3-movie contract, maybe more, to be in this. But it's like, there's no reason for her to be there. There isn't. Like, they basically was like, hey, we need you to figure out where this thing is, and that's it. And it's like, okay, cool. You could have had anyone. You could have had anyone do that. You didn't have to have her do it. Because at the very end, you try to make her like a villain, like the main villain at the end of the movie, but like she's not a focal point. To like at the end, like you didn't need her in it. It was just, and we love Charlize, we do, but my God, she was so not needed in this film.
Yeah, I mean, she's barely in the film as it is, and when she is, you're thinking, why is she in this movie? But who is in this movie way too much? We get Roman back, so Tyrese, arguably the weakest part of this whole franchise. I mean, once in a while, he's basically there for comic relief, obviously, and occasionally he does have a good line here and there. Especially in this movie, he's just like, it's one after another. And we were talking about how it seems like they were improvising lines and most of them aren't working.
You kept bringing up the amazing John Mulaney comic sketch where he's basically
Ice-T on Law and Order.
Where
you tell me.
Because that's basically what Roman does. Like, I didn't notice it until you brought it up, and then you're right. Because basically what Rome's does, outside of just doing poorly placed, like, bitch jokes, is he basically is like, he's the audience if they're stupid and they're not picking up on the plot. So he's gonna go, so you mean to tell me that this is what's going on, bro? And we're just wondering, like, yeah, they literally just went over that. Like, you talking serves no purpose right now, except for you to go, okay, pause. For anyone in the theater watching at home who doesn't understand what the plot is. So you mean to tell me this is what's happening right now? Yeah. Crazy.
And that's the other thing about Roman is he's just kind of restating everything that's going on, but then he has to have this commentary on how completely ridiculous it is. And the problem is, just because you point out how ridiculous and stupid something is and how something is completely unbelievable doesn't make it any less unbelievable. Because he starts talking about how, oh, haven't you ever noticed that we get all these guys can shoot at us, I never get hit, we never get killed, nobody gets hurt. And it's like, yeah, we have noticed that. And especially in this movie, because both of us had the exact same moment in this movie, is in that opening.
Way too early in the film for us to have this clarity.
Oh yeah, this is what do we determine it was like? It was like
we were 15 minutes in.
15 minutes of the film, and
I told you, I go time clock this, time clock it. It was
the first section was a flashback, and so there's only like 5 minutes into this part of the film, not even, because like they all show up in apparently these super tactical.
Well, they go where they track where nobody's plane was. Right. They show up there, and there's like this. Was it Brazil? I don't know. It was some country's army, wherever they're at. I can't remember if it was Brazil or somewhere else. And they're all kind of getting separated, and Rome goes into like this, almost like this tomb or something. I don't know. He's like in this like area. He's surrounded by like 14, 15 militia military men with machine guns.
Well, even before that, because there's a scene when the army first comes up on them, and he's like running away from them. In a straight line, he's running away. There's like 3 guys with machine guns all shooting at him. Not a single bullet hits him. And at that point, we're both like, what is going on right now?
They do the stupid cliche thing with action films is whenever people are being chased and they don't serpentine, all the bullets just always land on the ground, straight lined.
Yeah.
Like I get the movie magic. It's explosives that shoot up in the air, but it's like, these are military men.
Yeah, so
basically everyone in the military in these films are fucking stormtroopers.
Yeah, he would have been killed 50 times over with it. But then there comes the scene you're talking about, where he's in this enclosed area, surrounded. But next thing you know, he takes out like the entire army, and does not.
They all are shooting at him, and he's not.
And hidden. Some of them like 5 feet away.
He's not hidden. Like it's not like they're hitting debris around him, and he later points out that he's got like bullet holes in his sleeve. But that didn't hit him. And he's like, I don't know how that happened.
Exactly. We don't know how it happened either.
It's like, don't point out the ridiculousness of the movie, because it just emphasizes how much more fucking stupid this is.
Anyone who maybe didn't notice it, now you're making even them notice it.
Yes, and then you're doing it where he's noticing it and he's trying to explain it to the rest of the cast, or mainly Ramsey and Ludacris' character, Tej. And they're basically going, you're fucking dumb. It's like, no, you're like, it's almost like, honestly, this is what it feels like. It feels like he's pointing out the stupid audacity of the film getting away with this. And Tej and Ramsey are like, shut the fuck up. People aren't paying attention to this shit. Stop trying to point this out. No, man, this is fucking, shut the fuck up, you idiot. Like, that's honestly what it feels like. Is them basically going, stop fucking giving away the movie magic. You're just invincible. Shut up, Rome.
You know what's kind of funny though is about because you have Tej and Ramsey and Roman, and the 3 of them together. I actually really like the dynamic of them. And if you made a spin-off movie of the 3 of them as some wacky adventure, I would totally watch the movie. I think they could.
Not a fucking chance in hell could you.
I think that they could make a fun movie, but it would have to be one that is meant to be more of an action comedy. Because you could give
me Tej and Ramsey with somebody, not with Rome. No, I can't. I can barely stand Tyrese now.
Oh, I would. As long as Ramsey's in there, honestly. You know what? Just give me Ramsey. You know what? Just give me Ellie Emanuel. And
you already got that in, what was it? What was that Thieves movie from?
Army of Thieves.
Army of Thieves. I said War of Thieves. I was like, that's not right. Yeah, you got that with Army of Thieves. All right, you already got that movie. But no, it's just I honestly think this movie would get a half star more with Tyrese out of this film.
Oh yeah,
because he just, goddamn, this character should have died many movies ago, or just said, because how many times does he go, I'm over this, I'm done. Good, go, fucking leave. No one wants you here, dude. You are a liability. There's nothing you do in these movies.
Yeah, he's strictly there for the comic relief, but it's like but like we said, it all seems so improvised. So it's like you're not even filling that role well because these lines you're saying aren't funny.
Oh God, you bring nothing to these films.
But the unbelievability isn't limited to him because you have the first of a few unbelievable scenes when Letty goes flying and Dom catches her on the hood of his car, which, as we point out, he only saved her from about the last 3 feet of her fall.
5 feet at most.
And instead of hitting on some sand and things that might have had some kind of give and cushion, she managed to hit the metal hood of this car that's been taking bullets. So it's got to be a pretty, sturdy metal to it.
And even then, if there's bullet holes in it, there would be shards.
Jagged pieces of it. Yeah, too.
Exactly. Yet no bruising, no cuts, no nothing. She's fine. Didn't even dent the fucking hood.
Right. And you were talking about how this harkens back to in whichever one it was.
Six.
When Vin did the flying catch of her in midair where they're coming opposite directions, they would have just slammed against each other.
His body mask.
Instead, his momentum takes her and keeps her going this way to catch him.
Him grabbing her with his body mass at that force right there would have broken her back because he would have been like a brick wall to her. Then landing on a vehicle would have been even worse. She 1,000% would have been dead. He would have been seriously injured, if not dead. That and then you have the whole tank part of that movie. But yeah, that's just I get very frustrated.
So you get somebody there. She gets in the car. Next thing you know, we have that bridge scene, which you have two problems with. One is the car that the other people are in that's apparently driving up the bridge as it's falling.
No. Hold on. You forgot the whole mine thing where Tej.
Oh, I was going to hit every scene, but okay.
Yeah, but I was saying just to keep the ridiculousness of everything. You have that thing with Rome is stuck between two cliffs and he's falling down, and there's a mine right there, and there's plenty of dirt and shit that falls on the mine, doesn't set it off. Then Rome just jumps down right in front of it and almost face plants it. First off, his weight around that area still would have set that fucker off. But then there's the part where the car lands on the mine, it shoots the car up, and the car looks like it lands on him. And Tej and Ramsey are just like,
which for as close as he still was to that mine, the force of the mine alone would have fucked him up.
Yeah, and the car would have landed on. But that's the thing is they didn't even look heartbroken. Ramsey was like, oh no, and Tej was just like, oh shit. And then Rome just walks around like, I'm okay, guys. You're just like, dude, they don't even give a shit that you just almost died.
They're probably hopeful. They're like, oh, he's still
thank God, I don't have to fight for Ramsey anymore. Tej, now it's just Tej and Ramsey. And it's like, now here fucking comes Rome again. But so yeah, they're in this. They get in this one vehicle. They're basically getting on the bridge from fucking Temple of Doom, and they're right up, and it's breaking as they're riding up. And this is the part that Brian started to lose his.
Yeah, because when the bridge falls down from underneath you, you no longer have traction. You can't drive up the falling bridge. There's nothing there anymore. It's just falling away.
It'd be one thing to hit the knives, but they didn't even do that.
It's driving. And honestly, though, this is another thing I saw in the trivia. Somebody pointed out that in the scene where they're driving on the collapsing bridge, Tej shifts several times for no reason. And in one shot, you actually see that the transmission is in park. So it's like, yeah, can we try to have a little bit of realism in this movie? But whatever.
And then you get the part that we saw in the trailer where Dom. Well, first off, Jacob drives off the cliff, and then a plane magnetically grabs on and swoops and drives off. Okay, unbelievable, but
not the most unbelievable thing you'll see with magnets today.
Maybe plausible to a point. Yeah. I think it probably would have ripped the top of the vehicle off, and the car still would have went to its doom. But okay, fine, I'll let that one go. No, we get Dom in a split-second thought of realizing, oh, the bridge is gone. I'm gonna throw my vehicle at the fucking edge corner of this broken bridge, and it's going to hook onto this rope, not rip the fucking axle off the vehicle when it finally gangs.
How does he know it's going to catch it all? How does he know it's going to hold on to there? How does he know it won't rip it apart? And has he done the calculations in his mind about the exact trajectory the swing would take to put him right up there?
And he does that in less than 3 seconds. Dom's not a fucking genius here, guys. Dom's just Dom. Then it swoops him around, or him and Letty around. It lets their vehicle go.
Suddenly it does let go. It crashes, rolls like 20 times.
Yeah, and then they land. No bruising, no cutting, no whiplash.
All the windows are shattered, and they don't have a scratch on them.
I mean, whiplash alone, they should be seriously fucked up, but they're perfectly fucking fine. The only time there's ever actually blood in this movie is when Dom and Jacob actually fight, and where their heads are getting thrown into the the door panels and shit. They're actually busted up, not profusely, but there's actually blood in that scene. Come on, you can't have them fucking roll their car like 7 times and not just have a scratch. Keep going. This movie just makes me very upset.
Yeah. Let's skip to okay. The Mia shows up for no reason whatsoever, because now the thinking is that
the reason why it should have ended with 7, and this is the 100% the fucking reason why it should have ended with 7,
is because well Mia can show up and not Brian, because you know what? Because it's Jacob, and Jacob is Mia's brother too, obviously. So she has a connection, so she has to go and take care of this. But meanwhile, you have Brian, who is trained for the police and then with the FBI and other stuff. But he's just going to sit at home and drive his kid to school.
Yeah, and to the extent of the rest of this cast is on equal par with Vin Diesel in terms of skill, which Vin Diesel is top dog. He can do everything. Brian's character is equal, if not better.
He should be better because he's actually had military or
and
law enforcement training.
Beats Vin. The only thing that Vin has over him is muscle mass, but Brian is smarter. He's more calculated. And he has the training, but no, you stay at home. Now, obviously, he has to because he's Paul Walker's dead. But This is the reason why this franchise should not have continued past 7, because you have to come up with reasons why Brian wouldn't fucking show up to hell because he's got to watch the child. You could have anyone watch the child. Brian needs to be there. I get it. It's there's nothing they can do with it, but it's just There's so much.
Yeah, doesn't Brian have family, or doesn't Mia have other families still alive? They can leave the kid with somebody, family
that
friend.
They can rely on to protect them in case Cypher comes after him.
Whatever.
Which at this point they don't even know Cypher is a fucking part of this.
Yeah.
Why would they even think Jacob would go after Mia's kid? It's his sister. He wouldn't do that. So why does Brian need to stay behind?
Yeah. We do get the discussion. We find out what the whole MacGuffin of this movie is, which is a Project Ares, which can control any computer, which really is never really, unlike the other movies, that it doesn't really come into play. And the thing is just kind of the MacGuffin.
Didn't they fucking do this in 7 with God's Eye?
Yeah, it's very much the same thing.
It's always a fucking thing.
Where they can take over all the other cars and make them start shooting off of the.
It's another fucking horse with lipstick on it. It's the same fucking thing with just a different shade.
It is.
Same goddamn thing.
You know what? The next one I want to jump to. Speaking of Tokyo Drift, so we get the return of, and I understand this franchise going on. They want to bring back all the faces, all the people you've known, all the characters you come to love, things like that. But they decide to bring back the cast of Tokyo Drift, who definitely look like they're 40 years old or something like that. Even though this is supposed to take place not that long after Tokyo Drift, because this is after Han has
Yeah, because they made basically, even though Tokyo Drift's the 3rd film, it's technically in line with 7 or 6 or 7, because it's
so they come back and they look old as shit. Which it's one of those, I'm willing to suspend disbelief because they got the whole timeline fine, whatever. But then they've made these guys into somehow they're like rocket
literally rocket scientists.
Yeah, they're strapping rockets to it was a Pontiac Fiero, I think it was.
Yeah.
And launch it and things blowing up, and it's like I
okay, when we fucking last left these guys at Tokyo Drift, they were just fucking idiot high school kids who just wanted to drift cars. Somehow
and it has been 20 years since Tokyo Drift, or well, at this point it had been like what, 17 years since Tokyo Drift, but it has not been that in story time.
No.
This is like a couple of years.
There's no plausible explanation that would say from where we left them off to now that they would have the intellect of these characters to pull off what they're trying to pull off.
And they still try to make them like goofy, like teenagers, like they were in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
the personality.
They're basically writing them as if they're like 21, 22 years old, but they look fucking 42 years old. But in the mindset, they're basically college kids, but they shouldn't fucking, even if they're college kids, they wouldn't have the fucking thought process to build the shit that they're in, unless they're like MIT, which they're not, because we saw Tokyo Drift. I fucking hate this franchise.
And we've also realized at this point that they have still not been told that Han is alive.
Well, at that point, I mean, Rome and Tej wouldn't know that they know Han to a point, but
wasn't it before they left? That was the whole thing. Is they were talking about the Ares project, and then they came up with the pictures of, oh look, Han's alive. So that's why.
Well, and then Mia and Letty go to try to find Han, but Rome and Tej don't know Sean and whatever the fuck the other character's name, Bow Wow, Twinkie, fucking Twinkie. His name, and Otto, they don't know that they know Han. I will excuse that. Now, if it was Vin or if it was Dom going to them, then yes, he should fucking tell them. But Brom and Tej ain't gonna A, give a shit, and B, not probably know that they're connected to Han in any way. So I'll give them that one, that escape there. But
okay, we'll let that one slide. Helen Mirren, she pops up again for no reason whatsoever. Before we move on, even though it comes later in the movie, I want to talk more about Lucas Black and Lil Bow Wow, who apparently Lucas Black is now a pilot, because he shows up flying a plane that we've never known that he's had any ability to do that kind of thing.
Don't they call him Jiffy Lube because he works at a Jiffy Lube though?
Apparently, but maybe flies planes in his spare time. I don't know how this works. Neither do they.
Nothing fucking makes sense in this goddamn script.
Yeah. But yeah, Helen Mirren, they decided to bring her back as well, because apparently Helen Mirren said something in an interview one time that I think somebody's asking her if she was going to be in another Fast and the Furious movie, and she said that she would like to be in one, but she wants to actually like have like a driving scene. She wants to be in a Fast and Furious movie and actually get to drive and not just have talking scenes. So of course they make one up for her, which is basically just an exposition scene, but they decided to do it while driving for no reason whatsoever.
It's not based off of everything else in this movie. This is fine for everything else that's happening in this fucking film. This is probably the most technically logically sound scene in the movie.
But except that she apparently now is this expert, perfect driver. Even if she's going backwards, she can, I
mean, she's the Shaw's mom.
Can your mom do everything? Can your mom be a pro wrestler? I don't think so.
Fuck no, but also I'm not fucking either Shaw, who's like, also two guys they should have hired before I would fucking get Dom and them in the mix. But yeah.
Do we even know where
a Q?
Do you know where Owen is at this point?
Owen showed up in 8 to help them take out Cypher.
Right.
But Owen is not in this movie at all. I don't know where.
But we don't know where he is. We see.
Owen doesn't want to. Owen only helps them out, I think, because.
Mom told him to.
Well, yeah, because Statham was helping him, but I don't think technically. I mean, he's not on good terms with them in a way. But
so she delivers Dom to Jacob at the party, which you got to have a party in the middle of this because you got to have your cars and your chicks dance around. Although I will say,
slow motion dancing sequence, but this time they're all dressed in white dresses
and they're all much more clothed.
Yes,
because being 2023, not allowed to, or 2020
can't have the girls twerking in thongs anymore.
You can't sexualize women apparently, so you can't do that. Then we have the return of Han. Oh wait, no, I gotta skip over. We skipped over Cardi B being in this movie randomly for no reason whatsoever.
You have the actual like number 2 bad guy, which is like Jacob's like business partner, who's just like this twerpy English kind of doofish guy who lets Dom into his house. And then basically Dom and Jacob talk, they pull guns on each other, and then they arrest Dom for trespassing. You fucking let him in the house. That's not trespassing.
It's like a vampire. You invited him in.
Exactly. But then yes, he gets arrested, but it's not really the cops. It's fucking Cardi B and all these women, I think, who work for Helen Mirren, I believe. I think they're Helen Mirren.
That's the kind of the impression I got, but it's like it's just an excuse to have like they always have like random like I had Iggy Azalea showed up in one movie and
but that's the whole thing is like so Helen Mirren knew that if Dom showed up there that they were going to call the cops on Dom, so she plants these cops there just in case that happened. It's just
well, she was the one that was basically hired to deliver him there, which she did, but I guess she wanted to also bring him out. So I guess that's how you can live that up. Yeah. But it's just I hate these just random cameos and especially Cardi B. I don't understand this. Like if you're gonna have somebody in this movie, you know, I think they should have reused Eiza Gonzalez and her crew. But I'm glad she avoided being in this.
But that's Hobbs and Shaw. That's not the Fast franchise.
I'm saying they could have further tied it together. But you know what? I'm glad that Eiza escaped this and didn't have to be in this. Although seeing her and Natalie Emmanuel,
you could have brought Shaw's sister back from Hobbs and Shaw. She's out there too.
Any number? Yeah. Why isn't his sister in here?
No.
Okay. Han finally comes back.
Yeah, you basically have Letty and Mia go to Tokyo and they're like doing this fucking like scavenger hunt thing to try to find Han. Which I love that this movie is like also trying to make Han's reveal, like this big reveal when you guys literally gave him away in the fucking first trailer. Like that irritated the shit out of me. It's like stop trying like when they reveal Han, it's like this big dun dun dun. It's like, yeah, we know it's fucking Han. It's not. You didn't hide this. Like you don't need this big like slow-mo like hero reveal. It's like you gave him away in the trailers.
Yeah, I understand the characters are shocked to see him, but even then
they already knew what they were.
But even they know he's alive. It's just a matter of finding him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like.
So I mean, there's a mystery to why he's alive, what happened, but there's not mystery to the fact that he is alive. So that and he apparently was working for Mr. Nobody. I don't even follow all this. He was working for Mr. Nobody, and there's this girl.
And then he basically used Shaw to try and kill Han, but Han, who in previous films was in the car when the car exploded, was not actually in the said car. He was down the street watching the car explode. So Shaw didn't really kill Han.
You know, he watched Shaw walk up to him while he was upside down in the car
and threw a fucking grenade in there. But Shaw doesn't know that Han wasn't in the car, so Shaw still thinks he killed Han, but Han wasn't in the. Are you guys confused yet? Because we fucking are. But this is the fucking script. I'm like,
Yeah, so he's alive, and he's also bringing his little ninja chick with him that he's apparently living with now.
Who is
care of?
Who is the MacGuffin that we find out later in the film? And like, who the fuck cares at this point? Because that is literally not. That's like the least important aspect of this film is that she is the code, and it's like, okay, is her blood the code? Does she just know the code? Like, why is she the code? Like, did they ever explain that? I can't remember if they did or not.
I don't know. I think
both the code. I can't remember what.
Both the first time I saw it and when we watched it together, I think by this point I was just struggling to even keep focused on the movie.
Yeah, I still can't remember what makes her the code.
So there's one scene where there's a deception with Star Wars. Do you remember the scene? They just kept quoting Star Wars, talking about, well, if you're Han, then I'm Chewie. I don't even remember the whole scene.
I don't remember.
I'm going to skip over it. But there's this one scene which was oddly just obsessed with Star Wars and quoting Star Wars and making comparisons to Star Wars. It's in my notes. I've honestly forgotten it. We're going to move on from that. Then let's just get into the main thing about this movie, which is the electromagnet chase, whatever you want to call it.
Well, there's two separate scenes with magnets. Because there's the initial where they're trying to follow the sidekick bad guy, Oh no, okay, I know what you're talking about. Star Wars. It's whenever the torpy bad guy's talking to Cypher.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
They're talking about
Him.
Star Wars because he's like, I'm Luke Skywalker, and she's like, no, you're not Luke Skywalker. He's like, oh, that makes me Han Solo. It's like, no, you're
well,
not.
And that wasn't even. It
Yoda,
one scene. It was like the same character in like the next scene after that made some more Star Wars references, and I'm like, is this somebody writing who thought they were going to be like, you know, Quentin Tarantino, and we're going to put some pop culture references, and it'll be hip.
Yeah. Now I 100% know what you're talking about.
Okay, I had forgotten which character it was, but you're right.
Yeah, it was Cypher, and it was the torpy, rich, douchey guy with Jacob. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are trying to like follow him so they could try to find the other half of Ares, and then basically shit happens, and you've got Jacob like basically zip lining across the fucking city.
Zip lining across the city, even though for that to work, you would have to start out the highest point in the city and move down, because you can't zip line up.
I mean, unless it's a motored zip line, but still.
Which maybe he has some kind of motor on. I didn't notice.
But it's one of those things like, it's John Cena. He's bigger in theory than fucking Vin Diesel. If there's a dude zip lining with his size, I'm sorry, people are gonna look going, what the fuck?
Yeah, nobody notices him zip lining over the entire city.
And then Vin is on a roof and he's running across the roof and he somehow intercepts perfectly.
Listen, Jacob's way ahead. He's chasing Jacob. Yeah. Jacob's ahead of him. And then Jacob goes on his next zip line. And somehow Dom comes from the side. He finally ran faster than him, past him, and then jumps over and like catches him in a zip line.
Which I was like, wouldn't it have been hilarious if he fucking missed and just went right through a window? But
or just into the wall.
What's also happening on top of that is Ramsey is now in this like moving vehicle, which has the big magnets in. Rome and Tej have been captured inside that truck, and they're basically being held by gunpoint with these big ass magnets. And she's never driven before, and that's the whole big joke of this, is that she's driving, but she doesn't know how to drive, and she keeps turning on this fucking magnets, which causes shit to happen inside the truck, and it's causing stuff to connect to the truck, and while also following the rich doofus who doesn't understand this gigantic fucking ass vehicle that's having magnets attached to it is following him, which once again, there's so much bullshit in this fucking film. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the whole magnet chase, because then there's the chase scene where they purposely using the magnets, like they're pulling cars through buildings.
That's the final act. That's the final act.
Yeah, but I'm just jumping to part of that too, just to talk about the electromagnets in general, because A, that's not really how electromagnets work, and B, the fact is the matter is, if you're driving this car or this like truck in one case, and you turn on a magnet, if the other thing is heavier than you, and especially if it's trying to pull it through a building, it's going to stop moving and pull you. Okay.
Yes. The more grounded, stronger thing is not the thing that's going to get pulled. You're going to get pulled.
Yeah. And then they're using it also to just repel things and shoot them on. It's like, this is just,
and it's like,
complete sci-fi territory.
If you're driving, and let's say you are the strongest part of the magnet, and you have these vehicles crashing into you, your car is going to get fucked. It's going to get damaged. You're not going to just be like impervious to this damage, and then you send them back off. Your vehicle is going to have dents. Those magnets are probably going to be, maybe not damaged, but they're not going to be like structurally sound to where they were previously at before they got collided into. So while this shit's happening, fucking Rome and Tej are in space in a Arrow. Because they got a satellite before Ares goes online, because the bad guys got Ares.
This all grew from basically people joking around about, the only place where's left to go? The only place left to go is space. So Justin Lin's like, okay, I'm going to have him go to space. And it's just like, first of all, your car wouldn't survive that.
The cold alone would have.
Yeah. Second of all, they would have freeze to death.
Yeah.
And those suits aren't going to help them for that.
No.
And they got duct tape in it. And they're even talking about, I don't want to get sucked into space. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, your duct tape isn't going to work.
Even though they were still technically on the outer gravitational pull of the planet or some shit, so they weren't like technically in deep space. Like, I guess that's like the argument they could use. But it's like, that's still not how.
No, it's still. I mean, you fly high enough in a plane, you can feel how cold it is, even inside the plane.
Did you guys not watch Iron Man? Like, his suit got too fucking cold, and he didn't even get as high as you guys did. What, you think your fucking Fiero survives Iron Man's outfit?
Yeah, and then Roman's driving it. He's like, "What do? I drive." It's like, yeah, but you don't drive.
You're not
jet
driving. You're just
and things.
You're just in the rocket as it explodes. Like you're not gonna turn the wheel.
Then when they were trying to get to the one thing, he was actually steering the wheel because it was making the little I don't know what you call them, the little adjusters like jets go
like the flaps and
like
shit.
trying to project them in different. It's like, no, how would you know how to drive that?
And then isn't Sean and Otto like flying the big ass plane that gets them up into space too?
That's when we see them as the pilots.
And then of course through all this nonsense is happening, Jacob turns good, because he realized he's being fucked over by Cypher and his douchey sidekick, and so then all of a sudden he helps out Mia and Dom and family and all this crap, because heaven forbid anyone who's a bad guy in this movie or in this franchise has to eventually become good. The Shaws, now him. I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Charlize ends up fucking being a good guy by the end of this, even though she fucking killed Dom's kid's mom. You watch, she's gonna have a redemption and Fast X, and then she's gonna be a part of the barbecue too.
She didn't really kill her mom. I don't know. They'll come up with some excuse why it didn't happen.
Or no. Her goons shot the mom, but it was on her order because she technically didn't hold the gun to kill him. That'll be the
maybe they're gonna bring her back in this movie for all we know. I wouldn't surprise me if she survived somehow.
She only got shot in the head, but it's fine. She survived.
Yeah, but it wasn't real bullet. It was just
Dom only saw her die, but it's fine. But it's like
because this series is above retconning things. Yeah. Before Jacob turns though, there's a part where Dom is basically captured, and he's like takes his chains and tears down.
They're fighting like on it's like a walkway kind of thing, and they're all trying to escape like all of Jacob's men or Cypher's men, who are the bad guys, group. They're trying to outrun them because they're like in like this hidden like underground base thing where nobody's hangout is or whatever, because they captured Jacob. And Dom basically sacrifices himself. He like locks the door behind him, keeps Letty and all them like locked off, and then it's basically him against like 20 men. And there's one point where they're all rushing Dom, and Dom stops all of their momentum. It is one motherfucker, and he stops the momentum of like 20 dudes, and then he's fighting them all off. They all have machine guns, so one quick shot should have been the end of the fucking argument. But he grabs these two chains and basically I Am Groot's the thing down.
He was Samson. He pulls these chains, tears apart the entire concrete structure of this building or whatever it is. The entire concrete structure. He falls down
into like this
big, 100 feet, 200 feet. I don't know what it was.
Into this watery pit. And he's accepting his fate, and he's like closing his eyes, sinking, and he has like this like flashback moment or something.
Meanwhile, every piece of concrete he pulled down would hit that water and go as deep or deeper than he did and smash him.
Yeah, or keep him under it. And then somehow Letty gets the locked door open, jumps in the said water, has the strength to drag his heavy ass back up to the top water line, and he pulled the structure down. So how they got out of there is a whole other thing. Because then he wakes up safe, somewhere else. So once again, just bullshit in this film. But inevitably, by the end of the movie, Jacob helps them save the day. Then he drives off because he's still technically, a fugitive at this point.
It's basically the ending, Dom's ending from the first movie.
Yeah. Cypher gets away because you have to have her continue on in the franchise. And they're all at the fucking barbecue. Well, Mr. Nobody's still missing because everyone fucking forgot about Mr. Nobody. Where's Scott Speedsman? Where's he at? Why is no one looking for Mr. Nobody? Eastwood. Why is no one fucking looking for Mr. Nobody?
But Sean finally gets to see Han again. So at least
Han shows up, and you see him with the Tokyo Drift boys, so they get to have their little moment. They also brought in at some point in the movie one of the brothers, which they only brought in one of them because I guess the other one didn't want to come back or whatever. So they said that he was like somewhere else running a restaurant or some shit. Santos, and I forgot what the little one is.
Oh, which I will say I did like when they showed in one of the flashbacks. They showed like when Dom first met them.
Yes.
Sorry, I just forgotten about that one until you mentioned those brothers.
But yeah, and at the end of the day, that's the end of the movie. But then we had the post-credit scene where
which I kind of like that one.
Yeah, you got Statham, because I can never remember. I know he's Shaw, but I can't remember what his first name is. He's Owen. Deckard? No, Owen is Luke Evans, and then Shaw is Statham. But I mean, it's Owen Shaw, and I can never remember what Jason
Deckard
Statham. Deckard Shaw. He's basically got twerpy sidekick guy in a
body
bag.
He's beating the shit out of like a punching bag.
Yeah, in a body bag, basically punching him to death. And there's a knock on the door, and it's Han. And of course, Statham's like, "What?" And that. And that's the way it ends because Han thinks Shaw thinks he killed Han, but blah. It's like
it's like Han. I mean, I guess is Han there because he's confronting this guy who tried to kill him and apparently thinks he killed him,
or is he bringing him up to speak, going, "Hey, I'm alive"? Like, why does Han have to visit Shaw? Is he bringing him in to like join the group? Because I would have gotten Dom to do that, are they about to fight? Because Shaw looked like he was about to fight. When Shaw sees Han, he's like, the fuck, like.
Well, I think he assumes that he's there to get revenge or something.
Exactly,
but then it looks like it looks like in the snippets we've seen in the Fast X trailer that they end up, I guess they're going to have them working together, which is basically going to be the same dynamic, I would assume, as Hobbs and Shaw, where it's like two guys who like really don't like each other, but they got to work together. I don't know.
And that's basically how the movie ends. And then, of course, today they're doing I'm assuming it's the premiere.
There was a premiere in, I want to say, like Italy or something like that.
Yeah, and fucking this, because for the last, I think since 8, they've said that they're doing 3 more movies. So 9, 10, and then 11 was going to end, which I always thought ending on 11 was kind of a weird number.
Yeah, it was 9, 10, and 11, which I agreed. 11 was weird. But then they said, you know what? It's not actually going to be 11. It's going to be 10 part 1 and 10 part 2, which I'm like,
it's like, okay,
whatever, dude.
Fucking stupid. But then today during the premiere, Vin Diesel gives away that Fast X is chapter 1 of a new trilogy.
Yeah, they're going to close it off with a whole trilogy, which means we got 2 more of these films coming out.
3 if you count Fast X.
Oh, yeah, I meant 2 more after that.
So,
but yeah.
Fuck off.
And it's like I said, I was a defender of this movie. I still enjoyed them all the way through 8. 9, we thought clearly did not think was good. There was a couple of good things about it, but mostly it was just like huge disappointment. But you know what? It's like maybe it's a bump in the road. Maybe the next one will be good. The trailer for this new one doesn't give me a whole lot of hope, and I definitely don't need to see 3 more of them. So
we're gonna watch. Like honestly, it's gonna get to the point that when I see Fast X next week, if I don't like it, it's gonna be very, very hard for me to go see the last 2.
You're not going to see the last 2. Don't pretend you're not.
No. It's to me, it's gonna be potentially a situation where it was like with Transformers, where it was like I hadn't liked any of them past the first one. Third one was fine, and then the fourth one, Age of Extinction, came out. It was so bad that when Last Night came out, I was like, I refuse to go see this. I am not paying money to see this movie. I do not want to give money to this fucking movie. And then I didn't see it until during the pandemic because I had to study it for a trivia match. And so I actually did stay away from Last Night for a couple years. I would like to think that I would have the willpower to say I'm not going to watch 11 and 12, but we're doing a fucking channel where we review movies, so it's going to be one of those where it's like, but hey, I haven't watched any of the Minions movies or Despicable Me 3 because of this shit, and those are big box office smashes. I don't know, this franchise has gotten to a point that I don't want to say that it thinks that the fucking audience is stupid because I don't think that's the case. I just think that they're like, no one really gives a shit about the plot. let's just go do some fucking crazy ass shit, and people are just going to eat it up and not care about it making sense. Which to me, if you're not going to give a shit about making this shit plausible, then I shouldn't give a shit about wanting to watch your film. Because it's no different than trying to watch, which you and I tried to do a whole thing where like, I can't make it past one of these. It's like trying to watch those shitty spoof movies. Where it's like, look, man, if you guys aren't even going to try to make this like logically to the point where I can watch this coherently, then you don't deserve my viewing. You don't deserve my time to give to you. And with Fast, I'm just going to call it Fast because it's the Fast Saga. If 10 is fine, then okay, I'll continue watching it. But if it's as bad as 9 or worse, God help me if it's worse. I don't think I owe them anything to continue watching this shit. There are TV shows that I watched for 10 years and said, I'm done watching this, even though it still had like 3 years left to go in its seasons. Because like, you guys clearly don't give a shit about the fans anymore, about why should I give my time to you anymore? And that's where it's going to get with this one. If Fast X is an abomination, which I hope, I would love to be wrong. I would love to come back next week and go, hey, this actually was a lot of fun. It's an improvement. But if it isn't, and it's the same as this, it's going to be very, very hard for me to go, I'm going to watch Fast 11 and Fast 12. Because it's like, no, like at this point, it's getting to the point where I'm just the idiot that is further proving that they need to keep making these fucking films because I still keep going to this shit. And it's at one point, you just got to say, stop. Just stop. Stop feeding the fucking box office or they're going to keep fucking doing this. And then it's going to be Fast 18, Fast 19, Fast 20.
Yeah, I have the opinion. I wish they would stop making Fast movies, and I want to see more Hobbs and Shaw movies. Like I said, and a lot of these other characters, if they want to make a spin-off with Ramsey and Tej, I would watch that.
You can do a Fast universe.
You can have a Fast universe. Honestly, the thing I like least about this entire franchise
is Vin Diesel. Yes.
It's like you take him out of it, and it's so much more fun, and it's so much. And I think that the fact that he is so like controlling and everything you hear about him, like wanting to have control of every aspect of the movie, from the script and the story and who's casting and how many times he gets hit versus The Rock. There's a whole big thing about that and things like that. And it's like I think he is kind of the toxic part of this franchise, which honestly I would enjoy it so much more, because if you could have more of these supporting characters, I would actually enjoy it a lot more. And now they're adding more people. Like, I mean, we assume that some of them are in very small roles, like Alan Richardson and Brie Larson and things like this. It's like I want to see them. I just don't care about Dom.
You almost could treat this like an MCU mindset. Have Vin like he did last in 8. Have him and Letty go away. Take care of the kid. Take care of young Brian, and have the rest of the crew.
They can go off and live with Brian and Mia. Because
look. Outside of this one needing to have Dom in it because it was Jacob, Dom isn't necessarily needed for this. Now in Fast X, I guess he's needed because the villain is Momoa, who has a feud with Brian and Dom because Brian and Dom killed his father. So okay, fine, whatever. But you don't need Vin Diesel to make Fast and the Furious work. If anything, he's a anchor that holds down this franchise. Because, like you said, you'd be open to watching a Tej, Rome, and Ramsey film. I'm not against watching Hobbs and Shaw do shit. You can have Han go out and do stuff on his own. You can branch this franchises out and have them do their own things, and then you can bring them all back in, almost like an Avengers event kind of thing, where you do bring Dom and Letty back in with Mia and all of them, and have them all come back in. But you'll
never have that because Vin Diesel wants this. He wants everything has to have him in it.
Yeah, you could do that and maybe bring some life into it. And hell, do a Fast movie where maybe Hobbs and Shaw are the leaders and they bring Rome and all them into it and have them run it and not Vin. Much like do the whole thing where Brian has to take care of the kid. Vin Dom and Letty, they need to protect little Brian. They can't be a part of this. It's us that have to do this. We have to do this because Dom and Letty can't do it. Cool. Okay, I'm fine. Let's try that.
Well, I think they should have stopped by 4 now, and they definitely shouldn't be dragging this ending into 3 movies. Is that a big reason besides Vin Diesel? That I think the movie is just the series kind of lost its way. Is that now? Once they made this transition where, okay, they were street racers for a while and they were, criminals and they're on the run. And then they brought them back in 6 because they needed it was this other team of racers basically were the ones committing the crimes and stuff. So they had to use them. But then since then in 7 and 8 and now this, it's like now they're the go-to people when there's some kind of international incident, when there's this device stolen that's going to destroy the world. Who are we going to call? We're going to call this random team of people.
Don't we have
now that's become the focus of the movie and its franchise, and that's the part I care least about.
Because apparently FBI, CIA, Secret Service, fucking military,
NSA,
and none of them can
Navy
do
SEALs, nothing.
None fucking what do you people that took out Bin Laden, series S6 or whatever.
SEAL Team 6?
Yes, none of them can do this. Only Dom and family can do it. Shut the fuck up! Come on, you're telling me that Dom, who has 0 experience other than just being this fucking brute racer, can do anything that all these guys who have been trained almost their entire lives to do this shit? Dom can do it, but they can't. Fuck you. No. Shaw, I would trust either Shaw and Hobbs and Brian on any mission to save the world before I bring Vin Diesel's Dom into the equation. Dom has other than racing cars, there is nothing that Dom can do that those 4 or 5 guys could do better. Those 4 or 5 guys
can they pull down concrete buildings with their bare hands?
Apparently, Hobbs could.
Yeah.
Hobbs could 100% do that. But you're telling me, I'm sorry, I'll take Deckard Shaw in a fucking fight over Vin Diesel. I will take Owen Shaw in anything intellectually over Vin. And Brian, tactically, I'll take anything he needs to do over Dom. There's nothing that Dom does outside of racing, which even then, Brian is now better if on same par with Dom. So there's nothing that Dom does that those characters in this world could do better. And they're younger than Dom. So there's literally nothing that Dom can do.
Which I also want to point out, just one last thing I want to bring up is in that end barbecue scene, we then decided that they have to have Brian show up at the very end of it because his trademark,
to show that he's alive.
His blue car shows up because they got to show he's alive. But it's like I thought the whole thing was that they wanted to live off on their own and not be in danger and things like this for all the enemies they've made, and yet they're all showing up at this barbecue again at the same house where everyone knows they lived. That
it's still being rebuilt.
And it's like I understand that Brian, obviously Paul Walker can't be in the movie, but it's like then just stop trying to bring back the character. There was no reason for him to be at that.
Which is why barbecue. The current rumor that I've heard is that they are killing Brian off in 10, clearly off screen. But that is what I've heard is that Fast X is effectively ending the Brian character in this movie. Which, once again, if you do, are you expecting this emotional moment? Because I'm sorry, we had that emotional moment
at the end of 7,
fucking 4 movies ago, when we said goodbye to Paul Walker. That moment is not going to hit because I'm sorry, Vin Diesel doesn't have the acting range. Everyone else might, but Vin Diesel, are you going to have Vin Diesel cry? No, he's not, because he doesn't have the range to do that. Every monumental emotional connection that we have to the Brian character, we gave away at the end of Fast 7. So you effectively killing Brian off screen is not going to hold the weight that you think it's going to hold in Fast X.
All it's going to do is give you an excuse like, okay, we have to stop finding reasons for him not to have shown up to help them out.
Exactly. We've accepted Paul Walker being gone, and you now waiting 4 movies to actually kill him, it's not gonna fucking work. It's just too little, too late, way too late.
It's like in the MCU, whenever something happens in an individual person's movie, and you're like, why didn't the rest of the Avengers show up and help them out with this conflict? And it's like there's something you just have to buy into. But they don't every movie have to be like, oh well, this person's doing this person did this. We don't have to have them show up at the end like Brian. It's like you don't have to mention where they are. Just they don't happen to be there.
Yeah, Brian's just not there. Brian can't be there because of the kid.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But don't have Brian show up at the end. It's like, oh yeah, now that you guys did all the work, now I'll come and have some barbecue. It's like, but like what? And I know we're off track of, now we're talking about Fast Saga in general. It's fine. If you guys are actually still sticking with us, more power to you. We've either had the group like the fucking guys in Clerks 2 going fucking A when they're trashing Lord of the Rings, or we have people who are like, fuck you idiots, Fast Furious is fucking amazing, I'm not listening to you guys talk anymore. But let's fast forward to Fast 12, if it is actually the last fucking one.
You mean Fast X Part 3?
Exactly. Well, I mean, now that it's a trilogy, it's probably gonna actually be Fast 11, Fast 12. They probably will do that now. What's the end game? Is the end game still gonna just be the fucking barbecue at the end of the movie? Because I'm sorry, that's been the end for the last since 5, 6. I don't know. They do the barbecue after everything. So what? Okay, is that
how do you have what are they going to do to make Fast X Part 3 or Fast 12 whatever feel like the true end to the saga when every single movie is like that? Because how are we supposed to know that at the end of after 12 ends? Oh, what if the government comes calling again?
Exactly. It's like,
which they probably will. It'll probably be like they'll wait a few years and be like, oh, here's little Brian and all his crew, and they're the new generation of Fast and the Furious.
At that point, it'll be future based, and there'll be like flying cars and all that kind of shit. But it's just like I'm just like, over the course of us talking about this, it's like the last 2 movies. I'm trying to remember, because like Fast 7, they were hanging out like on the beach, so they weren't really like they weren't really doing the barbecue. But Fast 8 ended with the barbecue, like introducing Brian to young Brian to the family, and then Fast 9 ended with a barbecue, and then Fast 6 ended with a barbecue because that's where we got the funny line with Rock going, with your big ass forehead. These have all ended with a family barbecue. Is 10 gonna end with a barbecue? Is 11? Is 12? If they all have the same fucking ending, then what is the point of continuing these fucking stories? Like, are you gonna kill Dom at the end of 12 to officially end this thing? So is it going to end with a fucking funeral with then a barbecue of mourning? Like, what are you going to do now? You have 3 movies now to effectively potentially end this. What are you guys going to do to make this feel different than just doing the same recycled shit that you have been doing now for the past 5 films?
Mm-hmm.
That is what I'm at for you guys that are actually watching this all the way through. What do you think Fast, except for just constantly keeping doing crazier and crazier shit, story-wise, how are you going to end this? How would you end this? Outside of just the end of every movie, they win the end of the day, and boom, they're back at Dom's house eating barbecue, saying grace at the end, drinking their Michelobes, because that's the only fucking beer that's in
Corona.
this world. Yeah, that one. Corona, not Michelob. Because I'm sorry, if I already know the end of every one of these movies, what the fuck's the point? And that's not me being a hater. I liked this franchise to a point, and now it's gotten tired. Brian has defended this fucking franchise for as long as I've known him, till 9. And now here we are, knowing that we got 3 more fucking films of this. I don't know what can shock us. The best thing you can do is end 10 in a dark fucking way. End 10 with Momoa winning. End it with shock factor. End it with going, oh shit, I didn't think
if they're truly looking at this as a part 1, part 2, and possibly part 3 thing, then yes, it needs to have that Empire Strikes Back. Like this, the heroes did not win at the end of this movie.
Or wait till 11 to do that, so that way it goes into the final one.
But either way, it can't be the same.
You gotta do
same
something
thing every time.
You can't have them all hanging out at Dom's house at the end of this movie. You can't. Now, what I could see them doing at the end of this, because they're effectively potentially killing Brian off, is maybe the end of 10 is Brian's funeral. And then end of 11 could end darkly leading into 12. You could do that. But I'm sorry, if you end this the same fucking way you've ended the last 4 films, I'm sorry, what's the fucking point? I don't think there's anything else for us to add. I think we're done.
No.
Honestly, this episode went longer than I fucking thought. But that's because we just went on to the saga of it all instead. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. Of course, we have to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Out right now, this week's episode of Weekly Crusaders, where Brian and I talk about 2 movies we actually loved to talk about, which is Twister and A Knight's Tale. Our summer movie preview, where we talk about Fast X and all the other films that come out this summer, is out right now, as well as our non-spoiler and spoiler discussion for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Obviously, coming up next, we have Fast X. I'm sure Brian and I will both get on and have an actual non-spoiler and spoiler discussion of that, because let's face it, we just spent an hour and a half talking about the saga. We're definitely going to be talking about Fast X together. Next week's Weekly Crusaders we'll have out. We'll also have the latest episode of CineMasochism. I don't even know if Brian's even picked the next film that we're going to watch yet.
No. Our next one that we have specifically assigned isn't until we have something special saved for when Secret Invasion hits Disney Plus. Other than that, we got a couple of off weeks where we're just going to pick some random movies.
Yeah, and which he doesn't tell me until right before we watch it. So I have no idea what's coming up next. So we'll find out. But we hope you guys enjoyed it. We are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Brian Michaels. And until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch some movies. Go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.